Hey everyone, it's Ruth here from ruthansheridan.com, and I'm going to make sure we're up the chat to see who's here with us tonight. Okay, so tonight, guys, I wanted to just spend half an hour talking about mindset because I spend a lot of time giving practical tips on how to grow your home-based business or how to grow your entrepreneurial endeavor, but starts in your mind, and if you don't have the right mind, that a whole snowball, and you're going to end up having a tough time growing your business. So I just want to really share with you quickly because it relates directly to mindset. As many of you know, I'm a CPA by profession of about 30 years. And because of that, I had a lot of varied experiences. I worked in big public companies. I was the VP of tax in one company. I did some pretty major roles. I worked in smaller companies, in more entrepreneurial endeavors, and really just had experience in business. So when I entered the profession of network marketing 9 years ago, I kind of thought I had it going on because I had a ton of business experience, not particularly in network marketing or in sales, but in business. And I got going with a company. It was a health and wellness. And for the first 4 years, I struggled. I could not understand why I struggled because I had had tremendous success in my professional career. And 4 years, I finally said, enough. I believe in this industry. I believe in the business model. Why can't I nail this thing? So I hired myself a coach because I knew that the practical skills were not hard. I mean, what I had done in my career was hard. I studied tax law. You can't get too much more convoluted and complex than that. But, and I knew the skills of network marketing were easy, and I just couldn't crack the code. So I hired myself a mindset coach. His name was Jeffrey Combs. He's out of California. He's still a mindset coach. And that's all he does is coach people. Almost 2 years with him. And it radically changed my business. And I mean radically. I went from making no money to having multiple streams of income, which ended up in a multiple six-figure income business from home strategy. So I had something up here that was holding me back. So what I want to do tonight is really share with you some of the mindset things that I did to help me identify the things that were holding me back so I could let them go. And I could start producing in a way that was relaxed, added value to people, and that allowed people to show up. The first thing I want to do is I've kind of identified 4 pillars of, and a lot of this is mindset, because when we're in these businesses and we're not succeeding, or we're feeling like we're not succeeding, we often get overwhelmed. And overwhelmed, it's hard to produce anything because you've got 100 things in your head, and the thing right in front of you, you can't even accomplish properly and within a really efficient time frame. And remember, time is our most valuable commodity, so we want to be spending it efficiently. So the first thing is to set goals. And I know many of you on tonight's webinar are just coming back from your company's annual or semi-annual event, and some goals there, but they tend to be really lofty goals. You know, they're trying to get into your why. Why are you here? What is that big goal that is important to you, that is going to allow you to get through the obstacles that you will encounter in this business? It's not always an easy road. But sometimes when we set such big goals, they seem like they're not even achievable, especially if our mindset isn't right. Especially if we don't feel like we deserve those massive things, especially if we feel like that they're really a part of us, right? We don't fit into that beach lifestyle or whatever it is you've picked for yourself. So what I like to do is really consciously choose your goals, live your life on purpose, and you can run your business on purpose, as opposed to just having this massive vision board with the picture of the cottage and the beach and the Lamborghini and the diamond rings, right? So set clearly defined short-term goals. You have to have your why, burning desire for something else. For me, it was freedom. It wasn't having a Lamborghini or a house on the beach. It was being able to live life on my terms, you know, get up in the morning when I want to, visit my kids when I want to. They live away from home now. They're big and in university. You know, take vacation when I want to. And that's the lifestyle I lead now, because I grew a business from the corner of my dining room table. It's different for everyone. You know, that's a pretty simple lifestyle, but but to get there, you have to set clearly defined short-term goals. And why is this important? Number one, it's important because actually move yourself forward. Because sometimes when our goals are so big, even when we have small successes, we feel like we're never going to get there and we give up. So clearly defined short-term goals that when you reach them, okay, I did it. And what I do every Sunday night, I write down my goals for the week, and they're simple. They're how many people am I going to talk to? How many people am I going to bring to presentations? Have a target for how many people I'm going to enroll in my business or enroll in my internet marketing business. And it's as simple as that. And when I achieve something during the week, I can, you know, or put a little, you know, if it's multiple people, I do those little 5 things that I can look and say, yeah, I did what I said I was going to do. And what does that do for your mindset, which is more important? Not only does it move you toward your goal, but when you start living in success, even when there's small successes, success starts to become part of your identity. All you have is a great big goal, and you know it's going to take you 2 years to reach that goal, then you're not going to notice all the successes you had along the way, and it'll be easier to quit. But when success becomes part of your identity set, of your daily celebration of what you're doing, you are going to be way more likely to stay in the game long enough to reach that goal. So what I would propose to you guys tonight who are on, first of all, I commend you. If you're from Canada, it's Thanksgiving Day here, and I commend you for being on and taking your business seriously. I get a million messages. Sorry, I'm going to turn this off. But what I encourage you to do is pick 1 or 2 things in your life that you want to make a really big difference in the next 90 days. all right? Because in the next 90 days is a long enough time to make a massive change and to see success start to happen. So one thing in your business you want to see, or the one thing in your life you want to see, pick one or two goals and become committed to making those happen. Not just trying, not just giving it a shot, not just dabbling, not because you need to. Commit to it. And you'll notice those words that I used are words of non-commitment. When you hear people say, I'm going to try and lose weight, or I'm going to, try and fix my relationship, or I am going to try to enroll some people, those aren't words of commitment. The word try always gives you a way to back out. So being committed, start using that word, because your words are your law, guys. Your words are your law, and what your brain hears, it's more likely to achieve it. So over the next 90 days, commit to it. And if you feel that you want to be held accountable, shoot me a private message on Facebook. I'd love to hear from you. What your goals are. Second of all, number 2 in my pillars of success is you have to really evaluate your toolbox. So depending on what your 90-day plan is for your success, what do you have in your toolbox? What has worked for you in the past and what hasn't worked? Those things that you to help you become successful, and have a really hard look at yourself. Go back to my story where I thought I had it all going on, but obviously I didn't, because on was a really big ego. And I didn't want to admit that I really sucked at network marketing. And it wasn't until I decided, wow, the alternative is staying in, my desk job under high pressure, never seeing my family, having to ask for vacation, working all kinds of crazy overtime under deadlines. And that's not what I wanted. So what was the alternative? Well, I better take a hard look at myself and see what's going on. And I had some serious mindset issues, not only about the industry, but about myself. I'm going to tell you about those in a minute when we get to the next part. So evaluate your toolbox. If you need tools, then go out and get them. If you need a coach, go out and find one. And if you hire a coach, find someone who's already done it. And there's tons of great coaches out there who have been there and done it fully. If you need mindset help, and reach out to Jeffrey Combs, or I can introduce you to him, or there's a number of mindset coaches out there that can help you break through and to a place in your head where you can produce in your business. Believe that you're wealthy now. And we hear this a lot, right? About, living in the space where you've already arrived. But this is a little bit different, guys. Believing that you're wealthy now, taking a look at everything you have in your life, right? Your health, your family, all of the good things that you have, the money you have, the food you have to eat, the job you have, the business you have, the business partners you have, all of those things that add positiveness and joy to your life now. And when you start really living like now, as anxious about your future, happen in a vibrational level. And I have to tell you, I didn't believe in this stuff before. I was a nuts and bolts accountant, hardcore left brain analytical thinker. I started understanding the law of attraction and the law of vibrational energy. Jeffrey Combs really worked with me on. Amazing things started to show up in my life and in my business once I started to shift my energy. So if you guys want to learn more about that, there's 2 books I have. They're like the Bible on energy. So one's called Power versus Force, and the other one's called Letting Go. They're by Dr. David Hawkins, and they're fascinating books about raising your energy level in the moment and feeling that you're wealthy. You have wonderful things and wonderful gifts you can give to people even now. And what's going to happen is you're going to raise your vibrational energy. And there's a really cool chart in here on energies. It's in both of the books. It's from energies that repel people. So some of those energies are, anger, desire, fear, grief, apathy, guilt, shame, pride. It goes neutral at courage. Stepping up with the courage to change your mindset, to change your circumstances, to let go of stuff, then your energy starts to change and better things will start to show up. And attractor energies are things like willingness, acceptance, reason, love, joy, peace, and enlightenment. And all of those things start happening when you let go of the bad stuff that's happened to you in the past that you continue to hold on to in a second. So back to what I was saying, if you believe that you're wealthy now and that you have gifts to offer and can start sharing them with people, then people are going to start to show up. And if you don't feel that, and I know a few of you, on this webinar tonight have personally contacted me and said, I don't know anything. I have no value to give people. Well, just by virtue of being here tonight, to give. You have value. Everything you learn is something that someone else doesn't know yet to give. If tonight and flew you to, do you think you'd have value to give? Absolutely. Every one of you who is on has massive value to give to the marketplace and to other people, whether it's your business, your love, your skills, whatever it is. And when you start giving and believing that you are wealthy, even before you have a ton of money, level goes up and people will just start showing up. And that's exactly what happened to me. That's a really important one, guys. And this one is really near and dear to my heart, is moving your personal power forward every single day. What I really mean by that, it's understanding what you do and really becoming aware of feeling and why you're feeling that way. And this is something, that radically changed my business. And I'm going to give you an example. So a few years into my network marketing business, again, I got really skilled at doing stuff. I can't tell you how many websites I built, and I'm an accountant. I have no business building websites, but it gave me something to do to get ready. So I would build websites, and then my company would shut me down because they weren't compliant. And then I try and build another one, and then I'd get shut down again. And then I'd run Google ads, and they would get shut down. And I would read personal development books and watch podcasts and listen to podcasts and watch webinars. And all of that stuff is good. But if that's all you're doing, you're not going to have much of a business, right? Happening to me, all I was doing was getting ready to get ready. I was great at getting ready. I was busy. I felt good because I was busy. But how much money was I making? Big zero. Well, not zero, but certainly not what I was capable of making. So have to really do at what you're doing and doing was procrastinating. Procrastinating is really about avoiding pain. You see, human nature causes us to do one of two things: either move toward pleasure or run away from pain. And to give you an example, for the women on tonight's webinar, makeup, you know, some of us wear makeup because when we look in the mirror, we think we look better, and we go out in public and, you know, people will look at us and we feel good because we think we look more beautiful, or maybe we'll get some compliments, or, you know, if you're single, maybe some guy will, you know, notice you. Moving toward pleasure. Now, some women may put on makeup because, you know, maybe they feel they're disfigured. Maybe they have, you know, face and they want to hide them, or, you know, they have something about them that they want to hide. So they wear makeup, and that is moving away from pain, right? So people do things in life primarily to either move away from pain or towards pleasure. So for me, what I had to realize that was my procrastination, all of this getting ready to get ready, was moving away from pain. Because expected, if I got on the phone, if I called someone up, they might say no. If I talked to my family, they might criticize me because I'm not in, you know, my traditional job, which was job. I might get judged. And I was terrified of rejection. And when you really stop and think about why you do what you do, sometimes you have to go way, way back in time. Why you were conditioned things. And when you look back at the 20,000 meals you spent with your parents, you'll find a clue there. A clue why abandonment or rejection or failure. Maybe you were told something. Maybe you were asked to grow up too soon. It could be any of those things. Or maybe it's a little bit later in life. If you were in a relationship where you had and go so well, and you were duped, or, you know, any of these things could really profoundly be affecting your mindset, causing you to procrastinate, causing you to not want to pick up the phone, causing you to operate in anxiety. And anxiety, guys, is one of the lowest vibrational rate. So what was happening to me before I even had the self-awareness that this was happening was I was operating in fear of rejection. I was constantly anxious, even though on the outside, maybe I you know, thought I wasn't showing that. Emit these energies, and you know, the more aware you become of yourself, the more intuitive you will be with the people around you. And you will start to be able to feel their energies, and you'll know right away what's going on. And it's really quite fascinating, the evolution of that. Almost instantaneously now tell what has happened to people somewhere in their lives to cause them to be acting the way they are or reacting. It's the cause that creates the effect. So guys, I challenge you tonight, pick you procrastinate about. And I want you to write those things down. Piece of paper. And I want you to write beside it, what is the pain you're avoiding? That thing. So if you're one of the people on tonight's webinar and you're avoiding talking to people, and it's one of the single biggest things I see in our industry is people don't want to talk to people. Well, hello, we are in network, talk to a lot of people, marketing. Or if you're in sales, I know there's some real estate people on here. If you're on sales, you're not going to have any sales unless you have people to talk to, right? I want you to write down beside that, what avoiding? Is it the pain of rejection? The fear of abandonment? I want you to look at that thing, and I want you to write down, what is the pleasure you got by avoiding that thing? And there is a pleasure. You know, it may be, I didn't make my calls tonight, my favorite TV show, or I didn't make my calls tonight, but I, got to, and that made me feel good. I didn't make my calls tonight, but I got to work on my website that I think is going to, push my business forward. Write down the thing you got by avoiding. And then lastly, I want you to write down what cost avoid. And that cost is probably not immediate, but it's down the road. So in my example, and this was my wake-up call, once I realized the event in my past, which caused me to fear rejection. I was terrified of rejection because of something that happened when I was very, very small. What is that thing that I'm avoiding costing me down the road? Well, it was like, hello, I'm going to be still slogging it out in the corporate world. I was commuting 3 hours a day, never seeing my family, incredibly unfit because I had no time to take care of myself. I was overweight. I was overpaid, but big deal. And that was a huge cost. And when I took a look at that event that way back in my childhood, that thing I was told by someone who was significant in my life that I wasn't good enough, it was like, oh my gosh, how can I let that happened years and years and years ago have such a profound effect on my success today? And that's when I said, enough. I am so done with that. And I got on to producing, and my business just changed. My energy level increased. I believed I had value. People started to become attracted to me. Energy increased. I started offering what I knew, even though what I knew wasn't perfect. I knew it was going to help someone. It exploded my social media and exploded my businesses. So I encourage you guys to really take a look at your mindset. Go through those 4 things. I wrote them down here for you. Set your focused goals, make them short-term goals where you can feel success on a consistent basis, and success becomes part of your identity. Number 2, evaluate your toolbox. What are you missing? What do you need? Then go out and get it, and get the best you can afford. Believe you are wealthy. You have gifts right now that you can help people with. That you're wealthy. And then monetary wealth will come. And lastly, move toward your personal power. You know, take a look at why you do what you do. If you are a procrastinator, you are running away from pain. That pain is and why it's there. Look back and sitting with something, and then it'll come up and you'll realize that way, and you'll be able to let it go. Let it go. Get these books, guys. Get these books. I can't tell you how often I've read these books. They're still my go-to. So it's been half an hour. I'm going to sign off tonight. I'm not here to sell you guys anything. I'm just here to really hope that you grasp onto these concepts and make these next 90 days the most stellar you have ever had, because you deserve it. You all deserve it. You're here tonight to have the success more and dreamed about, and it's doable, it's achievable. So I'm out of here. Have a great night, guys. Have a stellar week. Reach out if you have questions. I'm always on Facebook. See you later. Bye.